Hi, love.
Hello, lovelies.
Wow, this is just at 7. Do I even need to say that?
Yeah.
Anyways, when Jane Frances said we're going to be talking about depression, because that's what we are going to be talking about now.
Yeah.
It hit me differently because
Why?
I should be asking you, why do you want us to talk about depression?
Right? I'm just wondering why you're saying it hits you differently. It's something that is just happening all over the world. People are going through it. It's happening and it's real. So it's not something that should be hidden or anything. Depression is really a strong thing.
That's true. The reason why I said it hit me differently because it's more like a heart talk.
Yeah.
You understand? Because when we talk about depression, it's like a canker worm that is eating deep in the lives of people. So it's made me start reflecting on people who are going through depression and its impact on them, the causes. So I feel like, oh my God, considering the factors that actually lead to depression, because I thought about it, that was when I realized that everybody goes through depression. You think about family issues, social issues, financial constraints, your environment, poverty, name them. So these are the things that leads to depression.
You know, I'll just say depression is a complex disease that comes with a variety of reasons due to what you said. You know, reasons like it can be because of heartbreak, it can be because of maybe academia,
abuse,
it can be the way you're being treated among your peer groups, it can be maybe within your family, maybe like a lot of people go through depression in different ways. Some people go through depression because they are ill. You know, you are sitting in a sick bed and you see yourself looking like a vegetable. You can't do anything.
Even family members can also go through depression, considering the fact that they have a family member who is not able to, you know, get healthy, like you rightly said. You know, just like what you're saying, I know that people respond to things differently, especially when it comes to depression. And depression begins with your thoughts.
Exactly.
Because it's like a process. First of all, it starts giving you negative energy, start telling you a lot of things about yourself. Okay, for example, someone who has been trying to do different things and he or she is not being successful. So now the thoughts comes to you like, oh, I'm a failure, you're a failure, this thing is not working out, oh, what am I going to do? I said it. And because is a thought, that is where the problem starts, because a lot of people are not able to identify that it's actually a journey that will lead to depression, and the end result will be the problem. So the best thing to even do that time is to identify that it's a thought coming, and you don't respond to that thought with a thought, you respond to it with words, by shutting it up, understanding that, telling yourself that you can do it, you are successful, you're this, you're that. That's the problem people make. When it gets to that point, people are not able, they will stop nurturing it, because depression takes time before it's fully mature. And when it matures like that, when they are not aware, it will even lead to like abuse. What I mean, yes.
Yeah, you know, this thing, depression, it happens to everybody, but it just depends on how you manage it and how you control it. Every human being has even an a-thon full of faith in us.
There's a guy that said something.
But it's just the way you manage it, you get the way you handle it. Because I know, for example, I know a guy when I was in school. He was a comedian then. And then we were like, this guy, is there any time he's always sad? He's always very happy, all and all. And then suddenly we just went for a break and we came back to school hearing that he committed suicide due to depression. And then we were like, that was when we knew that he was actually going for a therapy, not knowing that he was going through a lot. And the reason why he did that was because we were hearing that he had whether he had carryovers or something like that in school. So because of that, he couldn't handle it. You know, there are some people that whenever they are used to success, they are used to success, and then when they get to a point where they get just one failure in their life, they think that they can't move on again. They think that everything is over. I feel like that was the point that this guy was going through, like the kind of, but seriously, it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. Once once you know that, okay, you're always, because I just believe that failure is part of success, right? So even
not everybody believes that failure is part of success.
It's part of it.
You
So
just
if
said
you're
something now. Some people
great
can't
at
stand
something,
failing.
You're always doing great at something. At a point where you see that you didn't go, I think you should try another way, you know, rather than trying to kill yourself or doing something. If you kill yourself, life still goes on. But you're leaving people hurts.
That's true. You have a fantastic point there. You know, one of the things that I can actually tell now is that the people experiencing depression, it's overwhelming to them because at some point they can't even tell. Because I have also come to realize that some people do not even understand or know when they are depressed. It's when it gets to an extent, more like it's that like there's an early stage, there's a pre-stage, and the stage where you feel like this is just too much for you to contend, and that's where the problem even starts. So I don't even want people to actually wait till they are overwhelmed with depression, because anything, this is Nigeria, and aside from Nigeria, everybody, so depression has nothing to do with whether you have money or not. It's cut across. Anybody can be depressed. You can just, some people can just go on social media and they'll see, oh, I've not gotten married, oh, my friends are getting married. The next thing they feel like, okay, this is the problem. They start getting depressed because they've not gotten married. Oh, my friend has a new car, oh, this is the second car, I don't even have anything yet. That's the problem. And this, all those things can, these are the triggers. So first of all, when you are faced with depression, you ask yourself a question: what are the triggers? What triggered this thing? What was wrong? What didn't I do right? You try to constrain yourself, because someone said something to me before. He said, see, depression is like malaria. It is like this thing anybody goes through. It's like malaria. So it's the only heart cry we have in this matter is the fact that some people are not able to come out of it. We have lost a lot of lives in the name of, look at the guy you just said about now, this guy, and he's a comedian, so he was full of like, nobody experienced, nobody knew that. And I've also had people in my own corner during my university days, we lost a guy, and as a result of it, he was scared that when the result comes out, he was going to make a very bad grade. But he was part of the people that made a good grade, but he already lost his life. So it's you talked about the best way to basically come out of it, because that's the most important thing. People should also understand that there is a life after life, and most importantly, life is spiritual. And everything we do in this life should be done spiritually, because you see, this mind, our mind is so powerful that anything you think about, it has the energy to replicate itself outwardly. Once you have that thought, before you know it, the consistency, you dwelling in that thought, would replicate itself. So that's why we need to be careful of what we consume or what we take in. So personally, for me, I would really tell people to challenge that thought. When it comes, open your mouth and start making declaration. I just want to say this thing. There was a Chinese philosopher. He said something. He said, check yourself anytime you are thinking about something. Check what you think about, because your thoughts, whatever you think about, if you don't take time, that thought becomes your word, becomes a word to you. And that word, if you don't take time, that word literally becomes your actions. And if you don't check that actions becomes a habit. And if you don't check the habit becomes a character. And if you don't take time, that character becomes a destiny. So it went on. So it can tell you that this is, like we rightly established, the fact that it's a process. It comes with a thought. So people should understand that depression comes first with a thought and how to fight it.
Yes, exactly. For someone who also, because some people, basically what you're saying again is that there are some people again that don't know what depression is and how it starts to generate. The thing is that when you just see yourself at a point where you know that you're already degrading yourself, you're already feeling that low self-esteem, you're already feeling that no one deserves you, or you're feeling like you're not loved by anything, that is depression really coming out. And it gets to a point where you don't want to interact with anyone, you just want to be alone. Man, that is really depression. You just have to come out of your zone.
Exactly. Nothing like I'm an introvert. Yes, come out, mix with people, be friends with people. You just have to come out. And again, I just feel for want to know how to come out of this depression thing is that one should also know that whenever you are feeling in a kind of way, I just feel like people should just learn to just have self-love.
just have self-love. You have to love yourself, because loving yourself is very broad, because it's very difficult for someone to love yourself. Because one thing is that there are some people that they depend on someone loving them first before they can now know that, oh yes, they can truly be loved. My sister, no, you don't have to do that. You have to love yourself first. Don't wait for anybody to love you.
As well.
You have to love yourself first. Then you show someone how you should be loved, because you can't just let someone
because
come
exactly
and love
the way
you
you treat yourself is the way other people are going to treat you.
You have to love yourself, and by loving yourself, you have to do things you love, do things you enjoy. Like you can be playing music. If you think that you love music, you can play music.
See, let me tell you, when you say do things you love, do you know that a lot of people have decided
don't do something bad?
Do you know people? That's what I was coming to say.
Else
people saying that
you want to
I've heard
you love.
I have a guy said something that whenever he's depressed, he just gets drunk. So that's the point. So this is the other hand, and that was why I was talking about substance abuse. Like when you decide to abuse a thing simply because you're trying to, satisfy or get out of a situation, which is depression.
You again back to that
exactly, that is the problem. So people now try to look for a way to remedy this thing in a wrong way. So, but I love the fact that we're talking about self-love, self-acceptance, and all of that. So I also want to even encourage people when it comes to affirmation. See, it's powerful. Read. See, and power of hope. Give yourself hope, because a lot of people are hopeless simply because of issues that we have literally mentioned earlier. So if you can tell yourself, girl, you are drop dead gorgeous. You can just look at yourself in the mirror and say, you are the real queen. You got this. You got that. You're a guy. You're like, you're the real G. You're doing just fine. You hug yourself. You encourage yourself. You talk to yourself. Even if it takes you those affirmations, you write them down in when you wake up in the morning. That's the first thing you're seeing. You're going to have your bath. That's the first thing. You come to your workplace. You make sure you keep those things details. It's really going to help you a lot. And sometimes seek professional help as well.
There's some people that really, those words, it's difficult for them to get it into their head.
That's why I said they should just look for places to keep it. Establish a relationship with people that really matter, people that you're sure that will tell you the truth. Speak out. It's very, very important you speak out. And when you speak out, you definitely get help. Because when you look at it, a lot of people who are depressed do not speak out. And sometimes you wouldn't even know the people that are depressed. But I think one of the ways I was able to find out, because of some personal people I have actually spoken to, is that when you see people who are actually hyperactive and all of a sudden they are no longer the way they used to, they are more reserved, they are no longer talking. It doesn't need to get to that time. Just check up on them, and at least text people, check up on people, check up on a family friend. Do you know my younger sister was in this all the Generation Z? The moment she told me that she was depressed, I could not believe it. She said, "Big sis, you know I was depressed," and I was worried, like I was shocked, because I did not even understand why and how. And when she told me the reason, I was surprised, because I didn't really, from my own angle, I felt like that was not a problem. But what am I trying to say? She came out of it, and that was what she was telling me. So, but the period she was going through all those things, you could never have described that she was depressed. So it's not just about people we feel like are distant. There are people very close to us. Check up on them, text them, show them love. Always appreciate people. Seriously. Be kind. It really helps.
And if you're the one that no one is coming to you, try to mingle with people.
Exactly.
Come out, explore, do something, do exercise. Just come out of your house. Just come out of that
meditation.
Involve yourself in multiple tasks. It can help you. You can put your mind in this one, do this one. While you're doing that, you can be playing music and be dancing. It can remove your mind from whatever you are thinking.
Exactly. I know.
Because depression seriously really leads to death.
Honestly, and I'm just going to say this last one. We are done. Truthfully and honestly, no one deserves to die. You don't have to kill yourself simply because of what you are going through. Because truthfully, whatever thing you're going through, someone else is going through something worse. So
you.
you have every right to be alive because you have a beautiful future ahead of you. There are so many things that you need to know and open up yourself to. You understand? So cast down all those imaginations. They don't even exist because it's like a delusion and it's all wants to destroy you. Please be careful about that. And please meditate. I've been doing meditation.
Pray too. Tell God.
Of course, that's the number one thing. Yes, get spiritual help.
Yeah.
It really goes a long way.
True.
Anyways, that's the much we have for you on this episode. So please like, subscribe, share. The way my producer is looking at me right now, the other time you were saying, Patience, you're not saying subscribe very well. So now I'm saying subscribe. Yeah, and of course follow us
on all of our social media handles on the screen.
All right, bye.